So I'm briefly going to touch base on the topic of addictions, or doing a repetitive action that maybe affects you or others in not the bestest of ways. And maybe even you think it's not that big of a deal, because Lord knows I sure did over the years. You know, it's just me hanging out by myself, binge drinking. It's not a big deal. Trust your vibes. Love it. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And so remember to keep using your deck of angel cards. Keep practicing. Do not just hang back. You know, we only have a short amount of time left. This is the time to step forward. This is the time to come on live. This is the time to practice. And, you know, spirit can't do it for us. Nobody else can do it for us. We have to do it for ourselves. We are the ones who are going to make it happen. So with addiction, I just wanted to briefly touch base, because I know Chrissy was talking about that on the group wall. You know, does that request that you can make to Jesus work with addictions? You bet it does. That's why I am where I am right now. And I knew if anyone could help me break that, it would be Jesus. Not that I was the type that was, you know, at it all the time, but, you know, every weekend, like clockwork, I had to turn towards that in order to get some kind of what I thought was relief. And even when I was done and I didn't want to continue drinking, there was repetitive thoughts in my brain about alcohol, and to go there and to do it and to do it. So who was having me think about alcohol even when I didn't want to? Does anybody have the answer to that? Even when I consciously did not want it, who was having me think about it? Who was telling me I needed it? That's right. The attachments that were just waiting there, and the energies that had attached to my upper back and my neck and the back of my head. So it's energy, right? And if you're a vibrational match for that frequency, then it attaches. And boy, was I a vibrational match, let me tell you. You know, going out to the nightclubs all the time, going out to the pubs all the time. So then over the years, you stop going to those places, you stop frequenting those places, but those attachments are still there. That energy is still there. You can't just, oh, well, I'm going to stop doing what I did for 20 years and now I'm fine. Well, no, we need to start clearing this out. And I didn't realize that until I realized this isn't coming from me. These thoughts aren't coming from me. This feeling is not coming from me. So what is an addiction? Is it necessarily just to a substance, or is it to something else? Hitchhiker, I love it. Beat it. Big Mike, make sure this guy beats it. That too. Yeah, to remind you of what you need to heal, or rebalancing, recalibrating back to how I was before I was binge drinking and or drinking. So if we look at, you know, when we look at addictions, yeah, there we go. It's not just about alcohol. It's not just about cigarettes. It's not just about marijuana. Then we have sugar. Yeah, it really can be to anything. Everything can be an addiction. You bet it can. How about an addiction or a habit to low vibrational thoughts, low vibrational thinking, low vibrational way of viewing things in the world. Oh, the glass is half empty all the time. Oh, I'm pessimistic. Everything is a frequency and energy, and the only person that can change that is me, starting with me, and then of course asking spirit to help me and assist me. Yeah. 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 Absolutely, Timothy. Absolutely. So how do you know when spirit is assisting you with an addiction or a habit or a repetitive pattern in your life that may no longer be serving you? How does spirit help you? What are some of the ways that you will know that spirit is helping you? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And so as soon as we think about that thing we want help with, we give it and we ask them to step in. And you can use that request to Jesus and you can ask Jesus to step in. And if you really want to ramp it up, you can ask Jesus or Archangel Michael, but quite frankly, it's really the frequency of the soul of Jesus. I'm not talking about the biblical term of Jesus, okay? Because I wasn't raised biblical. I wasn't raised religious. I remember being taken in by the babysitters, and I had to go to church on a Sunday because my mom had to work. And I remember saying the word fuck really loud in the church, and everybody turned back at me. I'm like, well, I'm not going to fit in here. But I was super high vibrational as a kid. Oh my God. I just annoyed the pants off of everybody how high vibrational I was. It's just the structure of what that was in religion. It just didn't suit me. It was too structured. For somebody else, they love it. It's where they are today. It's the reason why they are where they are today. So, but that doesn't mean I'm not going to work with Jesus just because. I know what I know based on my experience. And if you don't know, then I suggest you try it out and see how it works for you. It took me a month to make that decision. I didn't go in working with Jesus right away. I was like, I'll think about it for a month, I told him. And he backed right off. And I thought about it for a month. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I agree, Jackie. You know, everybody's like, get rid of the ego. Good luck with that. Okay. Why don't we just move the ego from the front seat in the passenger seat and just move them to the back of the car? That makes more sense. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, because as you were making the request, it comes up to the surface and it doesn't want to leave D. It wants to cling. And as it comes up to the surface, it's getting pulled up and out. So you bet. Absolutely. Mm-hmm. The Christ consciousness. Yes. Okay. So some of the ways that you know that spirit is helping you with your addiction is you just don't feel a yearning for that thing or that person or that place that you used to hang out at or that substance you used to intake. There isn't that pull. You're not thinking about it as much. You're not yearning it. The energy is siphoned from it. So you don't feel that gravitational pull towards it. The other thing that happened for me as I was on the path of awakening and then ascension is my energy was ascending, it was lifting and raising up, and then I was taking in low vibrational energy through the form of alcohol, which was dropping my body's frequency down. It was like, well, I guess you could call it like convoluting what was lifting up, right? It was disrupting the ascension process, really. So here my energy is going up and then I'm sinking my frequency back down. So one thing I noticed was my soul kind of hung outside my body and I felt a very disconnected, detached sensation in my vessel. And this felt very like uncomfortable. Like I felt uncomfortable and irritated. And I knew this was happening when I was drunk. So when I was sober, my energy would come back into my body slowly, gradually. And then when I would drink, it would hang outside my body and I would feel very disconnected and detached. And the other thing that would happen is I would be doing my choice of substance, which is alcohol. For somebody else, it might be marijuana. For somebody else, it might be cocaine. For somebody else, it might be whatever. And even if it's like low vibrational chronic thinking, you might notice that for me, I just wasn't getting as high. And I knew it was because I had made the request for help. But I would continue to drink, and then the high just wasn't there anymore. So then I'd have to drink more. I try to drink more to get the same high, but I knew spirit, I knew energy was taking that high away from me as a part of my request for help to remove this substance of choice. So you might notice, oh, I can't quite think those low vibrational thoughts. I'm not really attached to that feeling of that droning on or complaining about that thing in my life. Or I'm not getting as high with the marijuana, or I'm not getting as high with the alcohol. Okay. So these are the ways that energy will assist you with slowly, gradually removing that which is no longer serving you in your life, that crutch or that habit or that addiction. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. 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 Oh, I was the queen of the weekend drinking. And so those are some of the things that will happen with addiction. Okay. So whether you think, oh, this is just fine, it's not bothering anybody, or yeah, it is bothering other people, it is bothering me. If I was cleaner, I'd probably get better sleep. I'd probably go to bed earlier. I do want something better for myself. Then you simply make the request. You can work on that prayer that I typed on the group wall. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that too, Tracy, like you'll notice like you're not drawn to hanging out with those types of friends or family members anymore. And they're not really drawn to hanging out with you because the energy all shifts and you're no longer a vibrational match for one another any longer, right? Okay, so let's talk about, let's just see if Agnes wants to add to this. No? Okay, and so let's start moving in the direction of confidence and inner peace. They're tied to each other, I feel, and so is self-love. Yeah, yeah, good, Chrissy, good. Not yet. That was actually just a runny nose. You know when he's tickling because it's like constant, constant, constant. And I just checked in, so he's not stepping forward, so I know it's not him as well. If you're wondering about things, you have to slow your mind down and check in. Check in. Use your cards if you need to. Okay? Practice yes and no responses. Does anybody want to talk to me? Oh, no. Okay. I feel a tightness in my chest. I guess not. Okay? All right. So before we get practicing with clairaudience and clairvoyance, I want to talk about confidence and inner peace. And I want to talk about it from the viewpoint of how it pertains to channeling. If I'm always second guessing myself, okay, I don't know, I'm not good at this, I don't think I'm getting it right, I'm not sure, then guess what you're going to be more of? The same. Over and over and over and over again. Get ready for years of it, right? And I did that. That's why I'm telling you what's to come. If you don't narrow it down, practice yes and no responses and get it right narrowed down, journal or write it down who's communicating with you, where are they coming in, what does it feel like, is there ringing, is there silence on the side of your head, is there head pressure, are your chakras opening and expanding, is there warmth, is there tingling? Okay, if you don't practice narrowing it down, you will always be wondering, you will always be uncertain, and you're never going to go with the first thing that you get. Confidence is all you have. And so that's something to practice on a regular basis. It's on the group wall, Tracy, if you scroll down. So, ultimately, the reason why I say it doesn't matter if you get it right or wrong is because spirit doesn't give up. The only one that's going to give up is me or you. And the second thing is, like, spirit will come in, come in, come in until you get it right. It might take a week, might take another week, but ultimately spirit doesn't give up until you get the message accurate. The second thing is, you want to go with the first thing that you get, because you want to move into that energy of getting the first thing, just going with the first thing that you get. Then you can narrow it down. Is this correct? I am receiving this information. Is this correct? And then you can narrow it down. Okay. And you get a yes or no response in the body. So now you're breaking down conversation with spirit. If you're always, oh, I don't know, I'm not sure, well, then you're just going to be more of that. And you'll probably notice other areas of your life where you're not sure, I don't know. And then that will be the main theme, the main frequency in channeling, and likely in other areas of your life. And, if you're going to take this path seriously, and say people come to you, I'm just going to throw it out there. I'm not saying you're going to, but say people come to you for a reading and you're sitting there like, I don't know, I think this is what I'm getting. That doesn't really make for a sound business, does it? You have to go with the first thing you get and fake it till you make it with the confidence. How do we build confidence? Does anybody have any ideas of that? But here's the thing. We're not going to get it wrong. And we're going to get it right as many times as we can. Is a medium 100% accurate? No. No medium on earth is 100% accurate. You just do the best that you can. You go with the first thing that you get, and you step forward with confidence. Some of the ways and some of the paths of building confidence are, you got to keep practicing. If you just kind of hope, I practice over here, practice over there, well, no wonder confidence, you need to build the confidence by practicing, believing in yourself, positive feedback to validate what you are getting. And you can't get that until you narrow it down and you build that confidence, that confirmation. So if I'm feeling a yes, I'm going to tune in and see what I get in the mind. A yes or no response. And then if I get the same, there's a confirmation of 2 ways that I'm receiving the same answer. Another way overall in life that really helps to build confidence is self-love. And let me tell you, self-love isn't always easy. Sometimes you have to say no to people. And sometimes you have to hold your boundaries. And sometimes you have to let people know where those boundaries are. Mirror work is a wonderful way to manifest and expand your self-love, just by you saying it, looking yourself in the eye and saying, I love you. And if you have that pullback or that sinking or that unease, feeling, you need to sit and do mirror work. And even if it's just for a minute or 2 in the mirror, that will really help to build the energy of confidence. Yeah. Oh, if there was ever a year of learning boundaries, we're going to have some serious kickback from people. People aren't going to tolerate people's SHIT like they once did. I'll tell you, I've seen a lot of people kick back with other people in where I live, and that's just out on the street. That's just driving. Or I remember putting some garbage in the city garbage can down the street, and this lady started harping on me while she was walking her dog, this elderly lady, about that garbage can should be used for dog poop, not for your garbage. And I just looked at her and I just put my hand up and I just kept going. It's going to be an interesting journey, because those who have been used to getting their way or getting attention, the Karens of the world, they're not going to be getting the same responses from people that they once did. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, self-love. And the thing is that I can't come along and teach these courses, and I can't come along and give readings until it may not be 100%, okay, all the time. And you may have days where you're having some ups and downs. But overall, my frequency and my shit better be solid, solid before I go and help other people. You know, this first, then I can help other people. Oh, yes. And in many ways, I see the health issues that I've had in the past as a great blessing, because it's really strengthened me. It's toughened me up. It's forced me into self-love. It has helped me hold boundaries, because if I allowed certain stressors in my life to kick off, so would a flare up, and then I would be sick for months and upon months. And my whole life would shut down. So, this has to be on track in order for me to help others in any capacity. And when I mean help others, I mean as in tandem with spirit. I'm not just helping others. There's a difference between walking and flying. I highly recommend tuning into spirit in order to help others, because spirit can see everything. It depends. It depends on how many readings I've given, Tracy. It depends on, do I feel ungrounded that day? How empathic am I versus the other person? So if somebody's very empathic and they're sensing a lot of energies, you need to ground every day. If not twice a day, would be even better. But once a day, I think, is, the bare minimum. If we have a wave of ascension coming in, we need to ground ourselves. If you are individually getting individual integration, you are getting topped up with energy, then you may feel lightheaded and ungrounded. If your thoughts are really fragmented and they're shooting off all over the place, then it's just telling you need to go ground yourself. So it's like 1 to 2 times a day. Some people are much more empathic than myself. I've always been one that I started out the gate where I was like probably using alcohol so I could tune out other people's frequency and their energy. And I've always been of the sound mind that other people's stuff is their stuff. Okay. And I'm not going to do them any good by taking it on. So, and I make that actually, that was one of my dominant decisions when giving readings. So when I'm done with a reading, I'm done. I don't think about it. I don't ponder upon it. I just kind of like detach from it. It's between the person and the angels. And then I step off and I move in my life, my direction. Yeah. So there are many different factors as to why one would ground or how many times a day they would ground. And you have to discern when that is best by your fragmented thoughts, how ungrounded you feel, how empathic you are. How many times have you been channeling through the day? Mm-hmm. Crawling's better than sitting still. So, yeah, confidence is something that you practice and you build. But if you keep going down the, I don't know, I'm not sure, and then that's where you're going to stay in that frequency. That's why it's so important to be the still observer of your thoughts. And also, for me, the book A New Earth by Eckhart Tolle, wow, did that help me incredibly, incredibly so. To get that book would be just a gold mine. That man, he's really brought some stuff to the forefront that I feel nobody else has. He's really brought to the forefront his soul, and he's really educated, well, if you want to say educated the masses on the ego versus, who you are, bringing forward more of who you are. Just like meditation does that for you too. It brings forward more of your soul. Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Feel the fear and do it anyways. Why do you think most of the populace is just staying where they are? Because they feel the fear and they don't. They keep locked under fear. Feel the fear and do it anyways. Why do you think Jesus stepped forward and wanted to work with me? Because he knows I'll do it. Because he knows that I'll face the fear and do it anyways. He knows that he can ask me certain things, and he knows I'll do it. He knows that I trust and have faith. He knows that I will listen to his guidance. I might ask him several questions and pester him about it until I feel okay about what he's requesting, such as helping another light worker or, assisting someone that needs help in a certain way. Mm-hmm. Okay, so let's practice clair. Let's go with clairvoyance today. We'll start with that, and then I always love to merge into clairaudience, as you well know, for double confirmation. Who would like to join me on camera live as we practice clairvoyance? And then everyone else can come along with us. Yeah, I love Disappearance of the Universe. Yeah, big time. What an eye opener that was. Um, that book really, really helped a lot. If I were to say the top two, it'd be Disappearance of the Universe and A New Earth. And then, of course, when I was first awakening, Journey of Souls by Michael Newton. Fascinating how he would see, it would be like Dolores Cannon, similar to that. But you got a full description of what heaven is like from the soul's perspective that's coming through the body of those he is putting under hypnosis. And like, you get just such a detail of what their experience is.